Hi. So I've been talking a lot about the big gulp moment. So I wanted to actually explain what is the big gulp moment. And so my husband moved out in August of 22 and took me by surprise. So we started navigating this thing, called separation. And then we kind of came to a head. I think it was about May of 23. And we just struggling. We just could not communicate at all. We were completely missing each other. And he just was upset. I was upset. He dropped off our kid at the house, but didn't come in, didn't say hi or anything. And I called him and I was like, hey, I think we need to see each other. And I asked, where are you? And he was at the 7-Eleven on the corner. I said, great, I'll be right there. So I pull up to the 7-Eleven, he's sitting in his van, and I just walk up to him and I said, hey, if you look at me right now and say, F you, I don't want to do this anymore, I will give you a divorce and walk away. Just have it done. So if that's what you want to say, then let me know. And he kind of chuckled a little bit and he said no. And I was like, okay, great. So let's do this. Let's continue to work. But we gotta get someone else in the room because you and I are not communicating. We have got to do something about this. So that is when we decided to start our marriage counseling. But the reason I call it the big gulp moment is because that was the moment that I fully surrendered my outcome of my marriage to God. I hadn't done that. I'd been praying for my husband, praying for myself, praying for our marriage, for our family and that kind of stuff. But I was so bent on only seeing that we had to reconcile regardless of our situation that I wasn't willing to hand that over. So in that moment, when I said those words, and I didn't even realize that that's what I was like truly like stepping into that complete surrender and faith and obedience to God. And I just handed it over and was like, here you go, God. The outcome is yours. Whether we reconcile or whether we divorce, it's yours. But through the process, we're going to get through this. We're going to turn over every rock, everything to make sure we're not missing it. So that way we do the right thing in the end. So that is the big gulp moment. So if you are in that situation or you're wondering, where's your relationship at? Where's it going? Have you fully surrendered everything, every aspect of that relationship over to God? And that's where I want to help get you, because it took a while to get there. You got to go through so much emotional turmoil and self-reflection. And I was seeing a counselor myself. And so she was helping me slowly, take the scales off my eyes, do the unveiling, because I just didn't realize exactly where I was. We'd been married for 22 years, and sometimes you just get in such a rut and you're just almost like you're surviving, but you didn't feel like, I didn't feel like I was in survival mode, nothing like that. But you're just kind of going in the motions and stuff. And so I needed to fully engage, fully surrender, and just give it over to him. And so that's the big gulp moment. That's the moment that I truly surrendered to God. And then once I did that, then I started to surrender other little areas that I hadn't done before. And you know how you sing the worship songs, I surrender it all. You do all that and stuff like that, but sometimes you kind of gotta name it. You gotta sit in your emotions and in your heart, your inner space, and truly figure out what am I surrendering? Can I surrender it all? Have I? And yeah, so that's what I started doing. Once that big gulp moment happened, other surrenders came, and just kind of God was just like, here you go, girl. You're finally letting go. And let's be honest, women, we tend to want to control things. Actually, you know what, men? You're the same. We like to control the situation. We want to be in control. We want to have the power. And the thing is some of us do it aggressively, some of us do it passively, and some of us do the little mix of passive aggressiveness. So we're all guilty of desiring to be in control. And so releasing that over is freeing, and I just want to help you get there. I want to coach you through the process. So I just wanted to let you know what the Big Gulp Moment was, because I keep talking about it, but haven't actually explained it. So there you go. If you're interested in knowing more and how I can help coach you through that moment of full surrender, of whatever it is, whatever is holding you back. In my case, I had to start with my marriage, and it may not be marriage for you. It may be a job, it may be family, it may be where you live, it could be past hurts. What is holding you back from stepping into God's will? So if that's you, if you're interested, please, let's talk. I do free one-on-one coaching calls to see if it's a fit, if you're interested, if it's a go. And I would just love to meet you and chat with you and help get you your own Big Gulp moment.